Good afternoon, Cardinal fans. Welcome to Missouri Southern. I'm the Vice President of Business Affairs, Rob Hughes. Glad you could brave the cold today to come out and root on your Cardinals. Right now, I'd like to introduce a Missouri Southern graduate and a member of the Zimmer Radio Group, Mr. Bobby Wilkerson.
Hey guys, we're really happy to be there. Great turnout today. We appreciate y'all showing up, even though it's not really baseball weather out there, braving the cold and coming and seeing us. I want to remind you guys that you can catch all the Cardinals action, beginning with spring training in March on 12:30 a.m. The Talker, and every Sunday at noon with our Countdown to Opening Day show. If you want to listen to all the things leading up to Opening Day spring training, still may be some moves to be made. We'll see if the Cardinals do that. Also wanted to let everybody know there are still raffle tickets available out in the front. Could win some great Cardinals prizes with those, so make sure you get out there, spend some money on those, and hopefully take home some good stuff. My honor now to go ahead and bring out Cardinals broadcaster Tom Ackerman.
Thank you very much. How are we doing today? Doing good? Who's ready for some baseball, for goodness sakes, with this weather we're having? Let's go. Let's get this season started. Do you know that today is January 13th? 1 month from today, February 13th, pitchers and catchers report to Jupiter, Florida. Isn't that awesome? Ladies and gentlemen, that means that we are just a few months away from Cardinal baseball at beautiful Busch Stadium in downtown St. Louis, and we're going to introduce you to the staff of the St. Louis Cardinals with us. Please welcome from Ticket Partnership, Scott Baker. From our Communications Department, Carson Shipley. Promotions and Events, Tommy Bonnert. Group Sales, Kathleen Griffin. Theme Tickets, Bethany White. And to talk a little bit about ticket partnerships and season tickets for 2018, please welcome from the Cardinals office, Colin Speckhouse.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Joplin, for you guys being here. We appreciate your dedication being here on this cold January day. I know I apologize that we didn't make it here last year, but we appreciate that you're here this year and that you guys are coming out. As an organization, we're very blessed to have such dedicated fans like yourself. I think last year we hit 3.4 tickets sold, and that ranked us second in the league, only behind the Dodgers. So that's very, very impressive. And that's dedication to yourself and what you guys do. You support us year after year, so we thank you for that. I just want to mention a little bit about tickets that we do have on sale right now. We have our all-inclusive tickets on sale currently, along with some of our packs. I know that, maybe if you guys want to come down to all-inclusive area, it includes your food and your drink. It's good for birthday parties, anniversaries, or just getting a group of friends together. So we currently have those out there for sale. We also have our ever popular opening day pack, some of our 5-game packs, which may be more catered to your all's needs, like the weekend pack, Friday pack. We have a Cubs pack in there. I think we've got any type of promotion. We got a bobblehead pack, we've got a ring pack. So we try to cater to those promotions, and I know that you guys love, and we'll have some of those given away. I'm trying to think. We also, coming up, we've got our theme tickets, so if you have any questions about theme tickets, Bethany can answer those questions. It'll be next Wednesday on January 17th, so we've got another great slate of theme tickets and promotions coming out for 2018. So look for that. Also, we've got our small group tickets will go on sale January 30th, and then single game tickets will be on sale February 23rd. So hopefully you guys can make it to St. Louis. Again, we appreciate you being here, and thank you, and go Cardinals.
Colin, we appreciate it very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to welcome the 2018 St. Louis Cardinals in attendance here today. Are you ready to see them? And I'll tell you what, I think about Busch Stadium and the noise level there and what Marcelo Ozuna is going to experience going from one ballpark, which is, kind of like, it's like going from a cemetery to a circus. I mean, from the noise level that he's going to experience on opening day will be absolutely incredible. And I want you to deliver it to some of these guys. Marcel is not with us. He's actually in St. Louis at the winter warm-up. But we got some good ones here today, and we can't wait to introduce them to you. Let's start out with some of our Cardinals alumni who are here in attendance today. He pitched an outstanding Game 7 of the 1987 NLCS. In fact, he went the distance and shut out the Giants to advance the Cardinals to the World Series. In 1985, for that National League Championship team, he won 18 games. He's an outstanding personality. This is his 15th Cardinals Caravan, so I want you to give him a huge Joplin welcome, Danny Cox. Please welcome, he's famous for his 1987 go-ahead home run against the Minnesota Twins and the greatest bat flip in baseball history. But he also was an outstanding player for the Cardinals, a huge part of those pennant-winning teams in 85 and 87, and a very sharp baseball mind, former baseball manager. We lean on him a lot, the Cardinals alumni, and we love that he's on another Caravan with us. Please welcome Tom Lawless. From the Cardinals alumni, he's a Cardinals broadcaster as well, calling games during spring training. He's on our flagship station, KMOX, and he's a world champion with the 2011 Cardinals. Pitcher from St. Louis, Kyle McClellan. We were so happy yesterday when the buses were loading and we got Danny Cox on our bus. We were sad the Memphis trip got canceled, of course. The Memphis trip was canceled because of the bad weather in the southeast portion of the state. But we were able to pick up Danny, and we were able to pick up this man, just like he arrived on the scene in 2017, making the team out of spring training, and everything he hit was hard. Everything he did was great. He's an incredible enthusiasm for the game, and he is a great, great Cardinal. Please welcome outfielder, first baseman, Jose Martinez. You talk about the Cardinal rotation, and in 2018, they have some big names. Carlos Martinez will be part of that. Adam Wainwright. They just picked up Miles Michaelis. Michael Waka and Luke Weaver, potentially big parts of the rotation as well. But there are some other pitchers that are going to give the Cardinals big innings this year and could potentially be part of this rotation. One of them is Tyler Lyons. You've seen him do that from the left side. But from the right side, he is a very important piece of the puzzle this year. The Cardinals loved when they acquired him in the Jaime Garcia trade, and he's with us today. He's an outstanding pitcher. Please welcome John Gant. Please welcome from the Cardinals infield. He is a terrific player. He can do it all. He can field, he can hit. He's one of the toughest at bats in the National League. Ask any pitcher. They don't like seeing him late in the game because he's going to work them over. And when he starts games, he works over the starter. He is an excellent Cardinal. We love having him part of the organization, and we love having him on the Caravan. He's a lot of fun. Please welcome Greg Garcia. And it was so cool seeing him make his Major League debut last year. We root for him. He's a great guy, infielder in the Cardinals organization, made his way up last year, and the Cardinals really like what he provides, his versatility at many positions. Please welcome to the Cardinals Caravan in Joplin, Alex Mejia. Ladies and gentlemen, the St. Louis Cardinals, who are going to answer a few of my questions. Then we're going to pass around a microphone and allow you to ask some questions. I can help work that together. But guys, grab a mic, and I'll start, Danny, with you. Just being here, you're the Caravan veteran of this group. You've been around for quite a while, and you've seen so many great places. We had an absolute blast yesterday in Springfield, Missouri, and it's good to be down here in Joplin. What a cool place to do this.
Absolutely, Tom. It's always fun to be a part of the Cardinals Caravan and be a part of the St. Louis Cardinals alumni. We always look forward to coming out and taking some pictures, signing some autographs, kissing some babies, all that good stuff. We enjoy it, and we want to thank you guys for always supporting the St. Louis Cardinals. And I know I don't play now, a couple of us here don't, but we remember when your moms and dads came to the games when you were babies. But we had a good time and enjoy your support, and it's great to be a part of the Cardinals tradition.
Danny, what does it mean to be a Cardinal? What does it mean to wear the birds on the bat?
Well, it's the best uniform there is in baseball, and they got the best fans in baseball too. And I live across the river in the communist state of Illinois, but I always like going to the ballpark and enjoying the Cardinals. They treat us alumni really well, take good care of me and my family, and so we get to go to quite a few games and still be a part of the Cardinals, doing Cardinals kids clinics and various events throughout the season, and I feel very fortunate to be a part of that.
And Lawman is here, Tom Lawless, you're part of the teams in the 80s as well. The great thing about Cardinal baseball is that we hand it down through the generations. And when we visit with fans, they love talking about Whitey's teams in the 80s, don't they? It's just awesome. Great stories.
Well, it's just the Cardinal tradition, like this Danny says, it goes on and on and on, back starting in the 60s, where they, had some really great players, and all of a sudden we rebounded in the 80s, and we kind of brought excitement back to the city of St. Louis and all the fans, and the brand of baseball we played, it was exciting for people to come, and we ran. We had one guy in our lineup that could hit home runs, and so it was exciting for us to play, and it was exciting for the fans to watch, and now the game has evolved to a home run kind of game a little bit more than that, but it's just a constant evolving game. But what is constant with us is that we all wear the birds on the bat here, and there's no other uniform like it. And from our generation to Kyle's generation to the younger generation down there, we can connect because of what we have done over the years.
It's outstanding. What about what Danny brought to the table in that rotation? We always talk about Whitey's teams. The speed was awesome. Jack Clark hit dramatic home runs. But that was a stable rotation in 85 and in 87.
Well, it was the whole game plan of the team. They understood. We didn't have strikeout pitchers. Nobody went out there to strike out. We relied on pitching and defense, and we knew that out of spring training. The hardest thing for Danny and the rest of them was to convince themselves just to throw the ball over the plate, let them hit it, get out of that inning for 5-7 pitches, and get out of that inning. Because if they hit a ground ball in the infield, they were 99% sure it was an out. If they hit a fly ball in the outfield and it had a hump in it, it's out too. So they knew if they could get contact early in the count, they were going to stay around a long time in that ball game. And if you look back in those years, they pitched in the 7th and 8th innings an awful lot, which you don't see in today's game very much, because we pitch away from contact more than we pitch to contact nowadays. And for whatever reason, it's just another way the game has evolved.
And we got a guy here, John Gant. Why don't you grab a mic real quick, John, and just your approach to getting those ground ball outs. That's one thing that one of many things that you've been able to do successfully is get a double play. How do you accomplish that? What is your thought process going into those moments?
Just try to throw a good quality strike down in the zone and get them to hit it on the ground and get 2 outs for 1.
And get the heck out of there. And we absolutely love it. When you talk about the bullpen, what is your look right now of this pitching staff? What do you like about the 2018 staff as it's constructed right now?
It's a good group of guys, tight-knit family, and everybody gets along, everybody loves everybody, we got each other's backs.
We love them too. Matt Bowman is a part of that, and it brings to mind that Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, who is sponsoring this today, has a table, and they actually are raffling off, isn't that right? Matt Bowman, you can sign up for a Matt Bowman autographed ball if you stop by Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, who is our great sponsor here today. Before we continue with the conversation, I just want to get a round of applause for a few people. From Zimmer Radio, let's hear it for Chad Elliott. Thank you very much, Chad. We just we just spoke backstage with a number of students from Missouri Southern State University. We love visiting with them, and thank you from the KSGU team, Judy Stiles. How about a round of applause for Southwest United Way? We saw them back there as well. And again, thank you, Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, our great sponsor through the years, the Cardinals Caravan. Folks, Kyle McClellan, who is, I mentioned, doing some broadcasting for us, and I wanted to get your thoughts on this. We haven't talked about this at the Caravan just yet, but growing up and the voices of the Cardinals and what that means to the entire picture here in promoting Cardinal baseball.
Yeah, I mean, growing up in St. Louis and listening to KMOX and having Jack Buck and listening to growing up, to me, the Cardinals, everybody asked me all the time, who's your favorite player? And I didn't really have a favorite player. I was the kid that would go down just like a lot of the kids in here and get autographs before the games and loved going to Busch Stadium. But to me, Jack Buck was the St. Louis Cardinals. And that's because the players would constantly change, but he didn't. And he was constantly there, and what he represented and how well he represented the organization. That's the one person that I never had the opportunity to meet that I wish I would have been able to meet. I've got to meet a lot of the Hall of Famers, and Bob Gibson and Lou Brock and Stan Musial and Red Shandy's, but I never had the opportunity to meet Mr. Buck, and that's the one person I would have loved to shake his hand and had a conversation with.
And Kyle, the other side of it is the fan base and the listeners on KMOX and our 155 radio affiliates, which is the largest network in Major League Baseball, by the way, a huge fan base. But they'll be coming through here in just a little bit to sign autographs. And you grew up in St. Louis. You were on the other side of that table. You certainly collected autographs as a kid. Do you think about what's going through those kids' minds, the opportunity, that moment in time to meet each and every one of you today?
Yeah, I think even more so now that I have kids of my own. I have a 6- and 4-year-old, and so a lot of times when these kids come through, I see my kids in that and know the excitement that my kids have now. I think it's something I wish I would have understood better as a player when I didn't have kids, and how awesome it is for these kids to be here and to get to meet these guys and get autographs. And we heard it all the time. People say, hey, you came to a Caravan 20 years ago and signed an autograph from me. And it's just cool to hear those stories and how, you guys are such great fans. And it's great that the Cardinals get to come down here. I was down here shortly after the tornado hit, and me and David Freese and Adam Wainwright were down here to see that and unveil the new logo between us and the Royals, raising funds. So we know it's Cardinal country down here, and we're glad to be here to kind of thank you guys for your support.
Thank you guys very much for your support. We really appreciate it. And make sure that when you talk to Royals fans that you mention that there are 11 World Championship flags waving in St. Louis, okay? Just, they have got a little catching up to do. Joining us is someone who spent a brief period of time in the Royals organization, but he is a Cardinal, and he is a great Cardinal. I mean, last year, having him at the plate, Jose Martinez, I speak on behalf of a lot of people here. It's a joy to watch you play the game. You have a great love and appreciation for the game, but it also comes from your perseverance and your persistence in getting to the big leagues. What has this ride been like for you in the last year, getting to the big leagues?
I think it was great. When you always work hard for something and you motivated from a lot of stuff like you've been through all the years in the minor leagues and stuff, and it's not easy. Minor leagues are not easy, but I think when you got a goal, when you want to make something happen, when you want to accomplish something, everything makes it easy. So for me, if you show up every day with the same mentality, trying to make it to the big leagues, trying to show everybody that what I can do and that I'm gonna trust in me and what I'm gonna be able to do in the field. So it wasn't easy, but a good team, the Cardinals, gave me an opportunity to just go to the big leagues and help the team. I think it's a great organization. We got great people and great teammates, so I hope to stay there for the rest of my career.
You have that great power. And offensively, how do you see your game, and what sort of things have you been working on in the offseason? What would you like to improve in spring training?
I think the one thing is just do the same. I think everything the routine went well last year, and I'm just trying to do the same this year and trying to be more confident in what I'm going to do and what I'm trying to do to help the team. You know, that's the most important thing. I think one thing is not to think individuality and just trying to share, like, and share information, like what I'm doing great every day, and just trying to help the team win. That's what we want to do. Trying to win and win and win.
That's right. And let's hear it for Jose. You know, Greg Garcia, I did an event one time at Busch Stadium. It was social media night, and I had a bunch of players lined up together. And one of the questions from the fans was, which player on the roster do you all, or is there a player that you want to be? Is there a teammate that you would like to be for a day? And they all looked at each other. This is Matt Carpenter, and I think Jason Mott was there. Everybody looked at each other and they said, Yachty. What is it about Yadier Molina that makes that team go?
He's a natural leader. I was actually talking to Kyle last night. You know, barring winning a World Series, the highlight of my career might be playing with Yadi Molina and Adam Wainwright. Those two guys have just been so influential, not only on my baseball career, just it was me as a person. So to be able to play with two future Hall of Famers, and you watch the stuff that both of those guys can do, it's incredible. You know, with Yadi, his instincts are second to none, and he's a feisty competitor, and we're so lucky to have him, and he makes it look so easy out there.
I mean, the competitiveness in you is evident. In fact, even last night we're at JQH Arena in Springfield, and Greg claimed that he's going to knock down a half-court shot. So he took 3 attempts. You can grab a mic if you want, Kyle. He took 3 attempts and missed all 3. The third one hit the rim. But I'll say this. I'll give you the credit for this.
It was embarrassing.
Well, it might have been. But you jumped right in immediately and said, no, I'm going to knock this down. What is...
Yeah, you know, I didn't think we were going to bring that up again.
He airballed the first two
Kyle,
by
that's
20
fine.
feet.
No, it's
He
fine.
didn't even get it to the free throw line.
You know, yeah, it wasn't my best
20 feet's a
effort.
lot.
Yeah, you know, it's a little embarrassing for sure, yeah. I thought I was going to make it, though, 100%.
Excuses.
Huh? What was that? Oh,
Excuses.
there's no excuses. No, I'm owning up to it. Bad shot. I'm a baseball player. That's it. All right.
What do you think about the Cardinals this year, Greg? What kind of team are we putting on the field in St. Louis?
The best thing about playing for the Cardinals is every single year we have the same goal, is to go win a World Series. And every single year the front office does a great job, the scouting, the player development, the coaches do a great job of putting us in a position to win the World Series every single year. And 2018 is no different. I feel like we have a good group of guys, and we can do some exciting things this year, and we're ready to go.
And Alex, you've been given the opportunity to play in the big leagues. You've seen the show. What was that like? Take us through that major league debut. And when you got the call to when you took the field.
It was really exciting, you know, leading up to that moment. There was a lot of hard, like, blood, sweat, and tears going through it. And actually, last year, I thought my time was might have been close to being up. And being in Springfield, getting sent there back for the 4th year, you know, I was kind of just worried. But then at the end of the day, when the season started, I just put my head down, put some blinders on, just kept working hard. And leading up to that moment, I was in Memphis, actually, in the restroom. And my manager comes in, yelling my name, and I hear him. And I'm thinking he just wants to talk shop, whatever, before the game. And I get there pretty early. And so after I get done, I go and see him, and he goes, I have some good news and bad news for you. You know, I was like, all right, give me the bad news first. He goes, well, you're not going to be in today's game. And I was like, okay. You know, I do want to play. It's not too bad because I've been playing every day for a while, so it's kind of a good thing to get a day off. But, you know, he goes, I got some good news. All right, let me hear it. He goes, you're going to be meeting the team in Arizona. And I'm from California, so my parents were able to drive out there. I believe it was a 5-hour drive. And being able to be there with everybody, it was really exciting, and being the team, actually, I grew up playing with a lot of these guys, but they're very inviting. You know, he's talking about the Adam Wainwrights, the Adam Molinas. They're also very inviting. Like, they don't have to be, but they're very welcoming with giving out advice for you that you might not know. They reach out to you, and that was very helpful for me going up to the show.
Alex, people might not know that you've been part of a great celebration. You know, we have some really good college players up here. Greg played in Hawaii, for example, with Colton Wong, but Alex, you were part of that. You mentioned Arizona. You were part of that Arizona team that won the College World Series in 2012. What was that celebration like, and what do you pull from that in your game today?
You know, in the minor leagues, I would say it's more focused about the individual, but in college, you know, you work with the team, you work hard together, you're taught everything's a team game, team sport, and so that winning fight, you know, I learned in college, and I wouldn't say I lost it in the minor leagues, but you know, everybody's driven for themselves, trying to make it to the big leagues. But once I got to the big leagues, that was kind of restored in my game because you know, you're up there and you're trying to win. I believe towards the end of the September, we were pushing for that last wild card spot, and you know, every game was very meaningful, and it was honestly a lot of fun. And I love being in those situations like that, and it was just a lot of fun being a part of that group.
There's nothing like it, man, when you see these guys playing with an edge and the energy's in the building and you know that that's out there, dangling out there, an opportunity to get to the postseason. We want to get that back this year, don't we? In 2018, let's go. I'm certainly ready. Do we have a microphone that we can pass around outside? You want me to grab one up here? We got a bunch of them up here, so why don't you pass me one? Let's give folks an opportunity to ask a few questions before we sign autographs. It's 12:30 right now. We want to give you plenty of time where you can get up and sign some autographs. But I want to remind you while we're talking about that autographs, there's one item per person, please. One item. If you can pass it through, and we do have autograph tickets, and our staff, they're really good about that. They'll explain how we can do the autographs in an organized fashion, but you all should have an autograph ticket by now. They are numbered, so we're going to go in that order. In this awesome place, Taylor Performing Arts Center. Let's ask a few questions. Raise your hand if you have a baseball question for the guys. I know there's one in the middle here, and actually a few hands would be good. Then we'll try to take you in order. There's one right there as well. We'll get the microphone to you. Carson Shipley from our communications staff is with us. Go right ahead.
What are your superstitions?
What's that question again?
What are your superstitions?
Some superstitions. Oh, I love it. Awesome question. Any superstitions from those teams in the 80s, Danny? Any from you?
Lucky underwear.
He still has them on, he said. Tommy?
Shoes every day.
Same shoes every day. Very good. Kyle?
For me, it wasn't superstition, but I just had a routine. So I like to do the same thing every day, just so that when I got on the mound, if I needed to pitch that night, I knew how I was going to feel. I didn't want to try to do anything out of that routine that might make me feel different, but not really big into the superstition.
No. Jose, you have any?
I always blame it on the batting gloves. I always go, so old hits get new hits, so I always change batting gloves. You know? I always say, nah. Get out.
How about you, John?
Kind of more like what Kyle was saying with the routine base. Just do what you need to do day to day to get ready for the game.
Same, routine, not really superstitious, just routine.
One maybe superstition I have, I actually don't like to try to believe in superstition. I like to believe I can show up and just play it any day. But one I have developed is, you know how you're supposed to avoid the foul line, stepping on it? I actually look to step on it, make sure I step on it. So kind of push that. It's kind of weird, but that's what I do.
Hey, that's right. Where's our next question? Go right ahead. Thank you.
This is for the alumni. What's one thing you miss about playing baseball and one thing you don't miss about playing baseball?
One thing I miss about playing baseball and one thing I don't? The guys, mostly. You know, I spent my whole summer playing baseball. All my summers were playing baseball. You know, I was always hanging around the guys and just playing a game, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. That's probably the biggest thing I miss. What I don't miss about it, you know, I'm still involved with baseball. You know, I teach kids how to pitch and, you know, help them out, whatever. I don't really, you know, it's just part of my life, things that I do. I think about it all the time, you know. It's just, people ask baseball questions all the time, so it's just something I like. And, you know, I guess, really, that's what I miss. You know, sure, I missed the paycheck. Hell yeah, I missed that. But, you know, it's even better now. But as far as the game of baseball, that'll always be on my mind.
Oh, missing would be what Danny said. It's the camaraderie of the 25 guys in that locker room that you miss, that you don't have anymore. I mean, we still stay in touch, a lot of us, because we live in the St. Louis area, but over a course of 2, 3, 4 years, the relationships you get that last for a lifetime. You can't find it anywhere else. And, so that would, but what I miss, what I don't miss is trying to hit that friggin' slider on the outside part of the plate. So I don't want to play no more.
Yeah, for me, same thing. I miss the camaraderie. We have a chance. We're actually going to be down there next week for fantasy camp that we get to put the uniform back on and play. And we said it last year. It's a great opportunity for the alumni to get involved, and fans will come down and play as well. But we get to be around our teammates that we were teammates with before, and then we get to be teammates with guys that we never had the chance to be. But in fantasy camp, we kind of get to have that camaraderie and get to know the guys. So that's definitely the part you miss. I miss September baseball. I miss being in the hunt, knowing that you're going into the postseason. There's nothing better. So I don't miss the grind. I don't miss the travel. I don't miss being away from my family. But when it's September, I get jealous of these guys because I know that excitement. I know what it's like to come together as a team and achieve that success, and then to go to the postseason with that. There's nothing better. But certainly, I'm with Danny. I miss the 1st and 15th. They're not as good as they used to be.
Any other questions? Yeah, in the back of the room there. Go right ahead. Yep.
What position did you play when you're 10, and did you play multiple sports?
Kyle, what position did you play when you were 10?
Specifically 10? I might have been 9, I'm not sure, but I tried to play everything. I played outfield, infield. I always pitched, so I was always a pitcher. But I'm glad you asked that about multiple sports. Absolutely. I played baseball, basketball, football. When I was a kid, I played soccer. But in high school, I played 3 sports. And I can't tell you how important that is for kids. And youth sports nowadays, everybody's trying to specialize. And I think it's a dangerous thing because football and basketball taught me things that I could use in baseball. It taught me physical toughness and mental toughness and how I had to really work to get better. So make sure you're well-rounded. Make sure you're not just focusing on one position or on one sport because I think all these guys will tell you it takes a lot of different skill sets to be able to play at this level, and you can get that through a lot of different sports.
Jose, how about you? What about what positions did you play as a kid?
I think I started playing third base. And then I remember when I was 11 and 12, my coach is like, I don't think we're gonna be able to play third base. You're too tall. You know? I'm like, why not? I mean, I saw Troy Glaus play third base. He's huge. You know. And then then I started playing basketball. As soon as that went through, I played basketball and all of that. And then I'm saying like he said, like if you got a chance to play whatever sport, go try to do it because you never know. You never know what. But at that age, I mean, you have no idea what can happen in the future. So I think for me, went to the outfield was the best idea ever too. So third base is not easy.
John, how about you? Always a pitcher?
No, when I was younger, I played all the positions really. Played basketball, played soccer, did a little taekwondo. Yeah, I'd say play as many sports as you can, man. If competing is fun, competition is healthy, and it's a good thing.
Greg, we know you picked up basketball yesterday, so.
Yeah, I didn't play basketball. I played infield when I was younger, and soccer, and yeah, like all these guys saying, it's good to get into other sports and just try out new things and just have fun with whatever you do and just have fun.
Alex?
For me, I wanted to play football growing up, but for me it was just baseball. My parents didn't let me play football. I mean, thankfully, because it worked out with baseball. But I would encourage playing other sports. It seems like you learn many different things, not just from baseball. And you can pick it up playing basketball, soccer, maybe taekwondo. Just a little bit. No, but I would encourage playing other sports. And position-wise, I was mainly an infielder. I think maybe in T-ball, I played first base. quite a bit, and that might have been because I was one of the guys that catch the ball. So, I played mainly in the infield.
That's good advice on the multiple sports for sure. Do we have some other questions? Did we have some? There we go. By the way, I love the jersey. The Blues jersey with the Cardinals logo is awesome. Go ahead, young lady.
How old were you when you started baseball?
How old when you started playing baseball, guys?
6, 10, 4,
4.
7,
Ooh, 4 through 10, it sounded like. Yep, very good. Any others? Where's our microphone? Right here. Do we have one here? Go ahead.
If you could meet one football player, who would it be?
One football player? Says the guy in the Tom Brady Patriots hat.
LaDainian Tomlinson, running back for the Chargers, or used to be.
LaDainian Tomlinson, nice. Good one.
I think I would like to meet Jerome Bettis. I think he'd be a fun guy to have a conversation with.
The boss.
I'm gonna go with Rob Gronkowski. He seems like a fun dude.
Dan Marino.
I don't know. I'm sitting here thinking, racking my brain on it. I would say I got to meet Bill Belichick. He was Tony's buddy, and I know he wasn't a football player, but man, he's a pretty good coach. That was pretty neat to get to pick his brain.
Patriots and Titans today. They have this game. Can they handle it?
Tuna.
How about you, Tom?
I don't follow football that much, so there's only one name that always comes up. You got the correct hat, I believe. It's the only one I ever hear is Tom Brady, so he must be pretty good.
Bud Grant.
Always had good teams for the Vikings and was just solid individual.
Bud Grant, the Vikings coach. The Vikings are playing today, or tomorrow actually, against New Orleans. Anybody else? Any other questions before we go? We have a couple minutes more. Yep, here we go.
Did any of you guys play travel ball?
Any play what? Travel ball.
Yeah, my dad was in the Air Force. I traveled all the time.
We played Little League, that's all we had, no traveling.
Any traveling, Kyle? Yeah, these guys.
I played on a travel ball team. It was my dad was the coach, so, but yeah.
I played some travel ball as well all throughout my, I guess when I was younger, until I got to high school.
Yes.
No.
Any other questions over here? There we go.
Who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl?
Who wins the Super Bowl?
I guess it would be Tom Brady and the Patriots, that's all I know. All I know is I'm glad it will not be the Los Angeles Rams, so that as long as they don't win, I'm good.
I like that. Who's going to win the World Series? That's my question. The Cardinals, baby. Let's get a couple others before we go. I love the fact that the kids are participating today. This is awesome. Go ahead.
Do you have any advice for young pitchers?
Pitchers? Advice for pitchers. Danny, that's your wheelhouse.
Yeah, have fun. Don't have anybody force you to do it. You should be telling your parents you want to go play catch or do something, or you should know when your practice is, or you should know when your game is. When somebody asks you, hey, when's your next game? Don't look at your mom or your dad. You should know when it is. And that way it just shows that you want to do it. I think your parents are, ready to give you anything they want, but you have to show that you want it first. They can't make you do things, but if you want to do something, they'll have more fun themselves doing it too, instead of always telling you what to do. I always knew what I was going to do in baseball. I wanted to play baseball every day. I'd tell my mom and dad when my games and my practices were, and they would take me to it because that's what I wanted to do. I played other sports, sure, but baseball was one that I wanted to play it every day. That's just the way I was.
Yeah, for me, it's have fun, especially at the age of a lot of the kids that are in here, you take care of your arm. You only have one arm, so make sure that you're taking care of that. You're doing all the exercises and being smart about the way your pitch counts. You know, parents, make sure that you guys are making sure that the kids aren't being overused and getting proper rest in between. You know, they're not throwing back-to-back days, 50, 60 pitches in games, but just make sure you're taking care of that. But just have fun. You know, when I was a kid, all I wanted to do was play ball. My brother played, my sister played, I was always around them, being the bat boy or whatever it was. I just loved baseball. And I think that's the best advice is just get involved, have fun with it. Anytime you have an opportunity to pick up a game, Indian ball or whatever it is, you know, make sure you're just playing the game and do it in a way that's safe and that doesn't do any damage to you.
What about you, John? What advice would you give kids?
Compete as hard as you can compete all the time. If you're going to go out there, you might as well go out and do it right and try to win.
Let's hear it for our pitchers. John Gant. Kyle McClellan. Danny Cox. How about a big round of applause for Tom Wallace? Alex Mejia. Greg Garcia. And Jose Martinez. Thank you so much, Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, for all of your support for the Cardinals Caravan. We are going to have an autograph session at this time. We want to remind folks, though, that there is a Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance table where there is an autograph already signed. It's a Matt Bowman autograph ball, and we'll be able to register you for that. We encourage you to have your kids stop by here and get autographs with the guys. We do have autograph tickets, so we'll take them in those orders. We also have, the table you see is loaded with prizes, so there are some raffle items to be had as well. Really appreciate you being here. I mean, we do not do what we do without you. The Cardinals put 3.4 million people through the turnstiles in 2017. It's a huge, huge fan base, and we're very aware of the fact that you make a weekend out of it in St. Louis, that you come in, you see us, you make a vacation out of it. We can't thank you enough. And I know, as a St. Louis kid, born and raised and being there, that the city absolutely loves having you. And thank you so much for spending time with us in St. Louis and seeing these guys. It's just awesome. It's one of the greatest experiences in sports, being at a baseball game at Busch Stadium in the summer, especially on a day like this, just to think about that, put yourself in that position, and realize that you are a big reason why this franchise has had success over the years. Thank you very much for being with us. Enjoy the autographs. We'll see you on the next Caravan stop.